Department staff, you all know better than most the sacrifices you make to support your loved one being a law enforcement officer. Families assisted during our fundraising events and made concessions related to their personal schedules to ensure that everything was covered when it needed to be. Your unrelenting support is second to none. I particularly want to thank my entire family. I might have to skip this one. I'll come back to it. To Mr. McClune, who unfortunately isn't here right now, and his wife and the Stanley Republican, there aren't enough superlatives for me to express my gratitude towards you and your support during this process. Anytime there was something that needed to be advertised, you were there without fail to make it happen. Your paper reaches those who no longer live in the Stanley area but once were residents. These people still have a vested interest in their community and multiple times reach out to us with donations and words of thanks and praise for our efforts in obtaining a K-9. In a world filled with a lot of negative news, your continued support and for our cause has been greatly appreciated. At last count, I was able to locate a reference to something K-9 related in our local paper 20 times since last March. That's pretty incredible. To the family of Officer Levine, no one person is able to take on this responsibility by themselves. Thank you all for being there for support and assistance during this entire process. I know Tyler is thankful for all that you have done for him and for Harper. Family is and always will remain priority number one for us at the police department, and it gives me incredible peace of mind to know that despite this added responsibility, the needed family support will always be there for him, so thank you. To Tyler himself, I want to thank him for embracing this opportunity, diving headfirst into the role, and all that has entailed since day one. He has been able to adjust on the fly and has embraced the challenges that have come along the way. 14 weeks with 50-plus hour work weeks, away from his wife, daughter, family, and friends is a lot to ask of anyone. You had a determined focus to be the best that you could be and wanted to make everybody proud of the time and work that you and Trey put in. You have already far exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait to see what the next several years have in store for you and Trey. We started this whole crazy journey back in March of 2017 with a fundraising goal of $80,000. I had no idea how long it would take for us to raise that kind of money, but knew that we would. I recall a city council member asking me at one of the first, I think the meeting we had initially when we presented this, what we would do if we didn't have enough funds or we didn't reach our goal, what we'd do with the money that had been donated to date. And I assured them that not reaching our goal was not an option. Last page. After getting approval from the city council to begin fundraising, almost immediately we were off and running. Fundraising opportunities, donations, and ideas began to flood in almost instantly, and I knew very early on that the public support was going to be there. What seemed to be a daunting task was not going to own us, we were going to own it, and the rest kind of speaks for itself. Having a productive and effective K-9 team requires a lot of work, all the time. Tyler and Trey will never stop training and will always be working to maintain, progress, and improve their skills. The quality and amount of work already put in can best be described by someone who has had multiple working dogs, has been a trainer and handler for more than 30 years, and owns his own K-9 training facility, Mr. Mark McDonough. Fortunately, Mark couldn't be here tonight, but he did reach out to me the evening before the last day Tyler and Trey had training, which was 7th or the 6th, and he said, and I quote, "I can honestly tell you that Tyler and Trey are hands down the best team in this class. He is one hell of a hard worker and Trey is a machine. I will miss them both a bunch. He is an outstanding young man." I know that the faith and confidence of our community rides heavily on the success of this program, and we are going to do everything we can to ensure we utilize this resource in the best and most productive ways that we can. I know that Tyler is the right person for this incredible responsibility, and I am so proud of what he is committed to do for this community for years to come. This is an incredible responsibility that's unmistakable. At the same time, this is also an incredible honor, and I believe that Officer Levine will approach this work moving forward as just that, getting the most out of himself and Trey in the process. I told him when he was first selected for this position, that it would be life-changing for him and Harper, reiterating that he would be able to set an indelible, and unprecedented mark on the history of the police department and this city, while leaving a lasting imprint on his law enforcement legacy that someday his grandchildren would be able to tell their grandchildren about. If that doesn't give you goosebumps, I'm not really sure what will, and you probably have to check yourself for a pulse. Okay, before I stop babbling here, I apologize, but there is one other thing I need to take care of. But in order to do that, I need little Miss Harper Levine, if you could come forward to help me out. Harper. Yeah, I'll try to go back to the family part. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. We good? I didn't mark my pages.
So they're unforgettable.
Thanks the middle one.
That's right. We got it.
Oh, it was really good, obviously. Well, so obviously one of the most symbolic and important part of a law enforcement officer's kind of culmination of all the work and effort they put into becoming a police officer is symbolic in that of the badge. So that is Trey's new badge, so welcome him to the team.